5 years ago, Gandalf here came back to the rescue once more after 2 attempts at homing and a week with a foster carer. And it's been a rocky road since then. Perhaps that journey, however, is now at an end. Welcome back. If you're a regular here, you've almost certainly met Gandalf before. He thinks he's the star of the show, but I'll let you decide that and tell us in the comments. He came to me as a bit of a last resort a week before the UK went into lockdown for the first time in March of 2020, and feedback from his previous attempts at being in a home showed him to be a dog that really struggled around other dogs of any breed and was hugely stressed by any form of change that took him outside of the kennel environment he was familiar with. He was described as reactive and institutionalized, which did not bode terribly well for the future. Gandalf, come over here. Yes, that's a good boy. He's been with me now for 5 years, and I've done a number of videos talking about his progress, and the links are in the description if you'd like to take a look. Over that time, he's stayed with me as a life foster because his particular needs have made it very unlikely that a forever home would be available to him. I didn't adopt him myself because I didn't feel my situation allowed me to take financial responsibility for a dog that was known to have issues in the way that Gandalf does. And I also thought that having rescue backup would be beneficial because I knew he could be trouble, and if I needed time out, I kind of thought there might be someone who could help me with having some space away from him for a while. Given how troubled he was, putting him in kennels or even leaving him with a dog sitter was not going to be an option. He needed to spend time with a very understanding person who could have him in their home. And he's definitely not the sort of dog that can go away with you very easily. The last 12 months have seen some pretty major changes for us. I mostly wrapped up my business and moved house to be in a more rural location. Gandalf celebrated reaching the grand old age of 10 and coped amazingly well with all that went on. It's taken 5 years, but he has finally got there with one more big change this month. He is very pleased to tell you that I have now adopted him. I've talked about some of his issues elsewhere. It was more a necessity than a choice in the end. But the support I hoped for didn't materialise, and the last 2 years of dealing with the rescue have been increasingly difficult. I'm now in a better position to pay his bills myself, and ultimately the cost of his care is a price worth paying to ensure that he can have the care he needs when he needs it and cut the ties that held us both to the past. He may be a pain in the proverbial at times, but he's my pain now. And it feels a bit weird after all this time to say that he's mine rather than a foster. But knowing that I just have to look after the dog instead of deal with all the rest of it really is quite amazing. Anyway, I need to keep this short as Gandalf has written a few words himself to mark the occasion. So over to you, Gandalf.
Mr. Editor, why don't you point that camera thing at me? I am the star of the video, he knew. Yes, after 5 years of careful preparation, I've decided to adopt Jill. Ha 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 ha. In all seriousness, though, it's been a very difficult decision to make for her to actually take me on full-time. I am by no means the easiest dog to live with, and I have an awful lot of issues. And I'm very appreciative of what Jill's done to help me through them. It's taken an awful lot of cuddling and an awful lot of squeezy cheese. And I've been through an awful experience just lately too, with having the lumps removed. And I know it's exacted a toll upon everybody that's been around me since the operation. And I just want to take the chance to say thank you. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's liked and subscribed to the channel and supported us. But an even bigger thank you goes out to Jill for taking me on, and I love her so much for that. And I am Gandalf the Greyhound, and my journey to find a forever home has finally ended. and I can't imagine a better place to be. And I know that I am a very lucky dog, surrounded by my friends in a house full of love. But not all dogs are as lucky, so please, where you can, support your animal charities